Did you sign into your?
I am right now. We are in what's it called? In Yaakov. So please subscribe to this channel. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the bell. Get all the announcements that the new classes are. Thank you very much. Okay, we are in, like I said, in Yaakov. We are in the Gemara Shabbat 35a2 in the article. So it says Amar Rav Chia. So Rav Chia said, "Harotze l'ro be'er shamayim." If somebody wants to see the well of Miriam. Now, the well, what is the well of Miriam? Well, first let me finish the statement. So, Ya'aleh l'Rosh Carmel, he will let him ascend to the top of Mount Carmel. Vayitzpeh, gaze out to the sea. V'yareh k'min kavara bayam, and he will see a boulder in the ocean shaped like a sieve. Zuhi be'era shal Miriam, and that is the well of Miriam. Okay, so what is going on here? The well of Miriam. Let's see what he does here. Okay, he says a reference to the boulder that Moshe struck in the wilderness from which water flowed and sated the thirst of the nation. According to the sages, this boulder traveled with the Jewish people in the wilderness, miraculously providing them with water throughout their sojourn. It is called the Well of Miriam, for it is granted to the Jewish people in her merit. That's number one. Let's just hit the notes here. The boulder will, it says, if you look out to the ocean, to the sea, you'll see this boulder. And it says the boulder will appear rounded like a large sieve-like receptacle. Our gemara states that this boulder can be seen from Mount Carmel, and it presumably means that the slab of rock is situated in the Mediterranean Sea. In other midrashic versions of the statement, though, the mountain named is Mount Yeshimon, and the body of water containing the boulder is given as the Sea of Galilee. Okay, so that's the whole thing about the Well of Miriam. The Well of Miriam. Why was the Well of Miriam in general? Because what happened was she, in this parsha, okay, in Parsha Shemot, we're going to see that her brother Moshe is put into the reeds by the Nile. Where Bitya, the daughter of Pharaoh, will find him, okay, and thus take him to her, bring him into the house, and bring him up as the Egyptian prince. Thus, you have all these wonderful things. It goes on the story, and he grows up, and he becomes Moses. Okay, Miriam, when Moshe's mother, the real mother, Yocheved, right? I'm getting names right? Okay. Yocheved, I'm looking to you for the names already. Okay. Yocheved placed him in the water. So Miriam, the sister of Moshe, stood in the background to see what would happen. She wants to see what's going to happen with this baby Moshe that's in the carriage, that's in the basket, that's in the reach. So because she waited for that by the water and everything else, fine. So she's going to get a couple of zechutiot on that, where she's going to, they'll have to wait for her when she gets leprosy for the 7 days. But also she is given the credit for in her merit, I should say that, in her merit, the well of water will follow them around the desert. Okay? She has lots to do with water. So now what happens is, when she dies, when she's 124, she passes away. And so the well and the people just buried her without any fanfare. So the well that was going around in her merit stops. Because they said you didn't respect Miriam by giving her a proper mourning, eulogy, and so on and so forth. Therefore, you're showing you don't merit what she has. So the well, as it were, went away and hid itself amongst the other rocks. And that's when Moshe will have to go. And that's the second story of what Moshe says, listen, you rebels, shall I get water from this rock, and so on and so forth. And then he hits it twice, and the water finally comes out and feeds everybody. Well, that was the Bir Shel Miriam that we're talking about. That rock that never should have put forth water is putting forth water. So he says, now why it ends up in the water in the end, I have no idea. I don't know that part of the midrash. Well, how it ends up in the water, but but apparently according to Rav Chia, if you want to see the well of Miriam, that's where you'd have to go. Like I said, ascend either Mount Carmel or the other is one is Yeshimon, Mount Yeshimon. Look towards the sea, and you would see it. Okay, and fine, and that's what that's all everybody's saying.
And so this thing dried up, why?
Because the people, oh, I have to read this part. Okay, because the people did not honor Miriam in her death. Remember, it's only going in her merit. So now, when they don't show due deference to Miriam, who was a very righteous person in her day of her death, so that and they just bury her without any fanfare, like they'll do for Moses and Aaron. There'll be a
What
fanfare
had
for
been
Moses.
done for other matriarchs up till that point?
She was not a matriarch. The matriarchs are only Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. So Sarah was buried after bargaining
What
out.
should have been done?
What?
What should have been done?
What should have been done to Miriam?
Yeah.
They should have had a little bit of fanfare. They should have eulogized her more. You don't just bury her and say, "Okay, next." She was an important personage. So you give a proper burial, you give a proper eulogy, you give a proper respect for that.
And where was she living when she died?
She was in the desert. She was in the wilderness. They're all in the wilderness.
In Sinai, someplace.
Which wilderness? I forget offhand. It's what's it called?
They weren't in Egypt, and she wasn't.
No, they're out. They're in between Egypt and Israel. The last area they were in. What do you want to say?
The big one.
The big one. Okay. I forget which desert. I forget which wilderness they're in, but they're in the I think the Kadesh Barnea area. I think that's where they were. The point is that they should have. Again, the only point that the rabbis are making, Kli Yakar specifically, is saying that they should have showed greater deference, and that's why they didn't. If they would have, the well would not have disappeared. And if the well would not have disappeared, they wouldn't have complained to Moshe. They wouldn't have complained to Moshe. Moshe wouldn't have hit the rock. And if Moshe would have hit the rock, he would have brought the people into Israel. But because of all those things, because of one thing actually, that he didn't honor his sister.
It sounds like Diana.
This is the Chad Gadya actually. Chad Gadya. Is the little girl. Diana wouldn't have done it. Chad Gadya. Not this it's the domino effect.
Yeah.
Domino effect. That if I would have done this, then nothing would have happened. But the bottom line is that they didn't show deference. They just buried her. They just buried her, and that was it. So once you bury her, which is they had to bury her, that was proper, but they didn't, according to the Kli Yakar, they didn't show due deference. So because of that, they didn't recognize the greatness of this woman, and therefore Hashem said, "Okay, I'm going to show you her greatness in her merit." So in her merit, the well was traveling with you. You didn't wonder why a rock is going with you. What do you think? The rock just goes. So you didn't recognize that. Fine.
How close to this time was the manna that dropped?
Simultaneous.
So you had bread but no water. Or not bread, but you had manna but no.
Right. Well, the manna would taste like what if you wanted
So
to.
they were delivered and punished at the same time.
This is the end of 40 years. I'm not sure what you're asking now. Oh, you have 40 years of man with the well. 40 years.
Yeah.
She's at the end of those 40 years. She dies at the end of those 40 years.
For the manna then was
No, they're still getting a man, but again, you're looking at it as bread, which needs water.
Well, I meant, yeah.
So I'm saying the man was a fully digested, no waste bread, no waste food. So you don't really need the water per se, because that would have sustained you. But the bottom line is, people want water. People want certain things. You have to take a bath. You can't take a bath in you have to wash it. You do something. You can't do that with man. So that's why you want the water so much. But maybe you want to drink the water too. You could have drank it, no problem. But that's what's going on with Miriam. So it's not a problem. Oh, okay. Now the H. Yosef says like this. I always want, because it's an interesting thing he says. He says, first he explains, he says, Sha'ayim a Galgel in Israel, like everybody's saying, it went along with Israel, with the, through the merit of Miriam. Dichtiv, as it says, how do we know this to be true? It says, Tamat Miriam, that Miriam died there, and Samech, and right next to that statement, Mayim Le'eda. So, and there was no water for the congregation. Since it says, and she died, and there was no water, and it's right next to each other, we make that connection that because of her death, there was no water. So again, why did God take it away? So on and so forth. So Rabbi Makshim, so there are many asked the question, since they had both Moshe and Aaron, so why wouldn't the merit return on their behalf? In other words, why did the well have to go away? Still have Moshe and Aaron there. Okay, so it says, Rabba Im Kain Lama Shalek Mitchila. So if that's the case, why did it go away at all? You have Moshe and Aaron. Leave the water there. So there's, you understand the question? Does everybody understand the question? I have three giants, three people who have enough merit to run the world. Okay, namely Miriam, you have Aaron, and Moshe, all brothers and sisters, brothers and sister, right? Okay, siblings. Those three siblings are the ones that saved the Jewish people. You had Miriam, like I said, who led the women in song. You had Moshe, who brought the people, if you will, brought the people out of Egypt with Hashem's hand. And you had Aaron, who would be the high priest. In all three people, you have a lot of merit running around there. So, okay, one dies. And they're going to ultimately bring the well back. Why did you take it away in the first place?
What was the difference in age between Moses and Aaron?
3 years.
And who was older?
Aaron. The oldest is Miriam.
Who put him in? Who let him down? Why did he live any more than Moses wouldn't have had he not been put in the basket? Why, on what basis was Aaron spared? Aaron was older?
123 when he died.
Aaron was the older of the two.
Yes, and Miriam was the oldest of the three.
The order to throw the babies into the Nile was given out when Moses was born.
Yeah, but aren't they typically the firstborn son?
No.
It wasn't much right.
No.
Right.
The child that was thrown into the Nile was because, according to the Midrash, the astrologer said today, the person who's going to save the Jewish people from slavery has been born. So, and we don't know whether it's an Egyptian, according to Rashi says, brings out that Midrash. We don't know if it is an Egyptian, and we don't know if it's one of the Hebrews. So Pharaoh throws an order out, all boys that were born all male boys must be, well, they can only be male boys, okay. All male children that were born must be thrown into the Nile, girls will live. So that was
nothing to do with firstborn or anything.
No, the firstborn is only for the plague. What?
How was Aaron spared that if he was already alive?
It wasn't retroactive.
Because he wasn't retroactive. It was just that day. Whoever was born today. Whoever was born should be thrown to the Nile. He was already past the stage. Okay?
So they weren't wiping out an entire generation, or?
They're wiping out, no, the issue is they weren't. Because if you really want to wipe out the people, who do you kill?
The women.
The women.
It takes two, sort of, to make them.
It takes one, actually. I need one man that can populate the world. To give me women. Give me 30 women, I can populate the world. Give me 30 men and one woman, I'm not going to populate the world. It's not a possibility. No, it's not. Men can't have babies, women can. So if he was trying to wipe out the Jewish people as a people, he messed up. He should have killed the girls. Everybody says that. It's a logical statement. Because as Nachmanides says, leave one boy with 30 girls, you'll have a whole new generation. No problem.
And also they give birth to 6 people at a time, so you're trying to kill them.
Throw that midrash out. Throw that midrash away for a second. If I have a bevy of beauties or not beauties, whatever they are, and I want to populate the world, it's not difficult. One guy He's a stud. That's it. Boom, 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 boom. They start impregnating the world. And he goes. So it's not, if you want to wipe out the people, you kill the women. You don't kill the men. The men are slaves. What do you want? Who cares? They're worthless. But when it comes to that, they can't propagate without the woman. Okay? So all it takes 2 to tango. Imagine if I have 20. And that's why, by the way, if you think about it, how many wives did Yaakov have? You know? 4. And for those 4, he would have ultimately, well, straight shot, he has 13 kids. According to Midrash, he has 27. He has twins, because those one twins. Okay, so one guy, 27, not bad, you know? Because he has 4 wives. So he could, and it's only in 7 years, by the way, that he has his kids, except for Binyamin. He's a little further down the line. But in 7 years, he has all those kids. Now that's basically an impossibility unless you're having twins or triplets with your wife every time. You're not going to have that. But if I have 4 wives in 4 years, and yet, by the way, it's a year, then she has to nurse, so and so. It's usually 2 years between kids like that. So you wouldn't have it. But here I have 4 wives, no big deal. I can pop them out. I build my people. So that's not the case. Okay, so it says, V'yosh Shlomo. So it was, why did he take it away? Why did God take the well away? So the Eitz Yosef says, God took the well away to show that the well was only given because of Miriam. In her merit, the well was given. Cain, and also the Eitz Yosef continues, Aaron, when Aaron died, Nistalku Anane Kavod, the clouds of glory were removed. Why? Again, they're going to be brought back, but why they get removed? To show that they were given in the merit of Aaron. Kasha, still you have, so now that's, first of all, why they disappear. Let me just finish. They had to show why they had to disappear, because for each person who died, God wanted to make it quite clear that it was only in the merit of that individual. Even if I bring it back, it was in that merit. The main reason was for the water was because of Miriam, the clouds of glory was because of Aaron, and so on and so forth. Yeah, what's Shaila?
That's the main reason that they went away, because these people, it was in their merit, it was particularly for them.
Correct.
Why mention the fact that the people didn't eulogize her?
Again, that's the Kli Yakar looking for deeper reason as to why it connects her death to that, to the immediate water going away, and of course, what would go from that, the domino effect of that. So he was saying, because that's why the Kli Yakar, the Eitz Yosef doesn't say that. The Eitz Yosef gives a different reason. He's just saying, well, let's understand this on a simplistic level. Kli Yakar wants to go on a deeper level, and by the way, all of the rabbis are trying to get us, even though I know people don't like to think this way, but these people are humans. And we have to learn from them. And we have to learn of their foibles, and when they make mistakes, or when they do things right. We're supposed to, when they learn from mistake, when they do mistakes, we're supposed to learn from them. When they do something right, we're supposed to learn from them either way. And we can make our behavior. So if we just read the story and we just say, Miriam died, there was no water, and we make in our mind no connection between the two. Or we just say it was in her merit. Well, why did she deserve the merit? Because she waited around. But that merit was used up for another place. So it can't be that. No, she waited for Moshe. So, but we waited for her when she had Sarah. So come on, how many times we have to give merit for that? Can't be that. So, and why you want to make the connection? So that's what the Kli Yakar says. Let's learn a lesson from this. You didn't eulogize her properly. You didn't appreciate who was in front of you. So what is that teaching us? That we have to appreciate people around us. That's what the Kli Yakar was trying to tell us. Okay, the Eitz Yosef is saying on a different level. He's saying, now let's look. Because his question is, wait a second, these things are going to be brought back. So if they're going to be brought back in the merit of now Moshe and Aaron, so why rip it away in the first place? So that's to show us that the well was only for Miriam. That was the main reason. Now you can bring it back, fine, it's something else. But we have to first appreciate how great this woman was. Understand? Without any other tricks, without eulogies, without everything. We have to realize who these people were. Okay, so it says, kasha, still you have a kasha, still you have a difficulty. Kevan, shahaya zechut Moshe, uli Aaron, shiachzu be'er, ve'anani kavod zechut Moshe levado. He says, you still have a problem. Since the merit of both Moshe and Aaron will bring back the be'er, the well, and since the merit of Moshe himself will bring back the clouds of glory, imkain lama lo nitain b'tchila b'shvilo. So if that's the case, why didn't you just give him the merit of Moshe to begin with? If Moshe ultimately is going to bring everything back because of his merit, why not just say it's in his merit? You understand? It's going to be ultimately there, so say that. But so Tirat Shlah, so the Shlah explains, Shlah Kodesh, he says, Sheyesh Chiluk, there is a distinction. Bema dahave mit alam liyot choser, for that which is there, then hidden away, only to be returned. Uvein mardelo hava va'ata nidhava, and between that which was not there originally, and now it is here. Ki lezeh tzarich zechut gadol yoter, because for that case where it wasn't yet there, and then suddenly it shows up, that has to have a tremendous amount of merit. Unlike it was there, it disappeared, and it came back. That doesn't need as much merit. It was already there, pre-existing. So now it's just a little more merit. L'chein, av shechazar ha'be'er b'zchut Moshe ve'Aaron. So therefore, even though the well would return in the merit of Moshe and Aaron, nikol makom, however, lo himsi hakadosh baruch hu yesh ma'ayin v'yesh ma'ayin legamri im lo mikol zchut Miriam. Hashem would not have made something that wasn't there yet, okay, if not for the merit of Miriam. And also, that's the example, that's the reason for the Ananya Kavod, the clouds of glory. Again, we're dealing, and by the way, for the Eitz Yosef to now invoke the Yesh Me'ayin clause, which is creation ex nihilo, okay, what we call creation ex nihilo, you're creating something from that which was not yet existing. Well, that's, we always heard that was from Sheshim Breshit, the 6 days of Breshit. So now, and only for that, never to be heard of again. Okay, now he's invoking that clause to say, well, that's why we have the Be'er Shel Miriam. Okay, you want to go to Pirkei Avot, and you want to say everything was, I know your mind is, okay. You want to say everything was created, put into place, Ben Shmash, Shkoyach. Okay, very nice.
How long a time was it between the time it went away and the time it was restored?
Days.
Days.
At most. Again, it was to wake us up. It was to wake us up and to make us realize it. But my only point is that his only point is that when I make yesh me'ayin, when I make creation ex nihilo, I need a lot of merit for that. So for Miriam to pull out that which was created according to Pirkei Avot, ben hashmasho, the in between the times from sunset until nighttime, that short period of time. So there, it still needed a lot of merit to pull it, to take it from potential to reality, okay? As opposed to once it was already in reality, then it disappeared, it hid itself, and then come back out. That doesn't need as much merit. So that's why through Miriam's merit, that's what brought out. When it came to the clouds of glory, it was only through Aaron's merit that it brought into fruition. And then again, when it goes away and comes back, that's just a matter of a jump start from Moshe Rabbeinu.
It sounds sort of like shutting down the government and then passing a bill and turning it back on again.
Okay.
Sort of.
Yes, and why do we have to shut down the government? To make a point. Whatever that point is, but I'm not getting to politics. But why because I don't know much of stupidity anyway, but it's why do they shut it down? Because they want to make a point. Okay, they make a point, they make the negotiations, and sooner or later, before the next check has to come out, nobody should miss a check. So they'll restart the government. They don't miss checks. And if they do miss checks, by the way, we have to pay them retroactively anyway. So nobody's missing a check. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take to get the check. Okay. And that's for all you guys out there. Okay. So all the people who are worrying you're not going to get checks, don't worry about it. Okay. But that's really what's going on. But you're right. It is the sort of thing where we shut something down to restart it, as opposed to before we had that. the initial stages of creating this democratic republic that we have, otherwise known as it's America, that took a lot of time. That took a lot of effort. That was created out of a whole bunch of concepts and ideas and a break off, blah blah blah. That was really a lot of arguments and efforts that went into that. A lot of worry that went into creating our constitution, and everything else that went with it. A lot of fights. It wasn't easy, but now there's here. That's it. So you shut it down, open it up, shut it down, open it up, right? No problem. Okay. But yeah, so I would agree. It doesn't take as much merit to reopen the government once it's closed, as opposed to the ones who were originally creating it. Yep. Okay. So now, so again, we go to 35B1. 35B1. And it is, we're looking at Rav Yossi, the son of Rav Zaveda, the one who does malacha. Okay, that's what it is. So where is it? Okay, it's on again. It's on the second column, and it says, Amar Rav Yossi bar Zavida, Rav Yossi, the son of Bar Zavida, said, Ha'osem malacha, somebody who performs one of these forbidden labors that we're not supposed to do on Shabbat, Bishnei Bein Hashmato, during the two Bein Hashmato periods. In other words, during Bein Hashmato on Friday evening and on Saturday evening, Chayev Chatat Mimaneshach, is obligated to bring an ordinary the Chatat offering, however you want to view the situation. And what's it mean here? So he explains in 4. He said, if you argue that his acts took place during the day, he would be exempt from the malacha performed on Friday, but liable to the sin offering for the Saturday's act. If you say his acts took place at night, the reverse holds true. He would be exempt for Saturday's act, but obliged for the act of Friday. Thus, one way or another, he has certainly violated the Sabbath, and he must therefore bring a standard sin offering if the act was inadvertent, rather than an asham taloi, which is a guilt offering that you're not sure if you have to bring, which applies only for only for uncertain transgressions. Rashi adds that the above applies only if the person performed malacha throughout the entire Ben Ishmael period, each of the days. Presumably the same would apply if the act performed during only part of Ben Ishmael, but he performed the second day's malacha at the exact point of Ben Ishmael that he performed on the first. However, Friday's malacha was performed toward the beginning, Ben Ishmael, and Saturday's toward the end, it's still conceivable if the person did not violate the Shabbat, since the first part of Ben Ishmael may be day, second may be night, and so an Asham Toloi would be warranted. Okay, you understand the case? Let's give times here. Shabbos comes in at 5 o'clock. Sunset, dark is at, let's say, 6 o'clock, because we're bringing Shabbos 5. So it's 20 minutes before, so it means 5:15. So 5:15 and 5:20 is actual sunset. So from 5:20 to 6 is what we call Ben Ishmael. Okay.
So what was the 5 o'clock milestone?
The 5 o'clock is candle lighting, which is about 20 minutes before sunset.
Okay, which is still before darkness.
Yeah. At 5, so from 5 to 5:20, I light candles, right? 5, and I bring Shabbos in because I want to add from the holy to the profane, whatever. I want to add. So that's what I'm doing. So that's why I bring Shabbos in early, as it will. Now, what happens is if I do work from 5 to 5:20, I've done nothing. I haven't broken Shabbos. There's no
Even after the candlelight.
Right, I haven't broken
Then
Shabbos.
what's the point of doing the candlelight?
What I'm doing is I'm bringing in Shabbos early. I've chosen
Then
to
that
bring,
means something.
but I'm saying I haven't done anything. In reality, I haven't broken anything because it's not yet the day. So I want to bring it early, fine. That's why when you light candles, if your wife lights candles, we really do it for the wife. The wife lights candles, and then I drive to shul. Yeah, my wife lit the candles. She burned Shabbos, but I didn't bring in Shabbos. Shabbos doesn't come in until the correct time. So now the rabbis say you should add from the holy to the profane. So I should add a couple of minutes one way or another. So should I be driving at that point? No, I shouldn't be driving. But if I am, I'm not breaking Shabbos.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a DJ backing up a record so that when the music starts, it's up to full speed already. Because otherwise it sounds like zzz.
I don't know if that, I can't.
That's absolutely true.
I can't even think of that one.
You rotated a third back so that by the time the turntable gets to where the music starts,
Oh,
it's already at full speed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Of course.
I
Otherwise,
haven't.
everybody would sound like zzz.
See, I haven't used the term. I put it on.
It's like going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now what happens is, on the other hand, if I'm from 5:20 is sunset. Okay, that's when the sun, so we call sunset at this point, and all the way till 6. So now what happens? That's Ben Shmasha. We don't know what the time period is. Okay, we don't know what it is. Is it night? Is it day? That's why it's called in between the suns. Okay, so now I decide I'm going to do something that's a malacha, some sort of forbidden work. Again, here's this wonderful book. Look at the 39 about malacha for Shabbat. Take any one of those, and I decide to do that at 5:25. Okay, on Friday night. Well, Saturday night I decide to do the same halacha at 5:25 on Saturday night. So either it's Shabbos or it's not.
Have you done Havdalah yet? Because
No,
if you
I didn't do
delay-
it. No, I did that halacha. I didn't do any Havdalah. I didn't do anything. I said what I was thinking was at 5:25 is Ben Shmasha. Ben Shmasha is really daytime. So that's why I said on Friday. I said Friday is really daytime. Really, I have no problem. I can still drive, do what I have to do. Fine. So now I do it fine. So if that's the case, still daytime. So it's really part of Friday. It's really not part of Shabbos. And I didn't do anything wrong. You'll agree. You have to agree to that. That's 100% logical. Now, on the same hand, Saturday night, I want to hit the road early. So I say, okay, Saturday, so 5:20 is Shkia, sunset, which means that 5:21 is dark. It's night. So 5:25
Because you started Shabbos as the day.
Right, so I can get I get in my car 5:25 and I'll drive. It's already dark. It's already nighttime. Same time.
After sunset.
It's 5 again. I did the 5:25 both times. So there I can't. I'm holding two sides of the same coin. Either it's day or it's night. I can't go both ways. So one of those ways, I clearly broke Shabbos, and clearly have to bring a sin offering. Clearly, I have to bring a sin offering. As opposed to if I if I did something 5:25 on Friday, and 6 and 5:55 on Saturday, there I could say, okay, so one was I missed it by 5 minutes, the other was 5, but clearly it was two different times, right? There we have to bring an Asham Taloi. We're not sure if we broke Shabbos or not, so we have to, that's what you do. But the point is, once I remain in that Ben Shmashot time period, which is a questionable, ambiguous area, I can't do anything. I shouldn't be doing malacha. That's why he says that if you do the malacha, you're obligated. However you look at it, you're obligated to bring a sin offering. Because you were in that area, we don't know, and you decided in the same day that first it's going to be night, now it's going to be day, or day and night, however you want to look at that, okay? That's what he was against. So he says, so Amrle Rava, the Shama'e, so Rava once said to his attendants, Atun, Delo Kim Luchush Bishor Durabanan, you who are not an expert assessing the measures of the sages, the various signs given to above for the onset of Ben Shmashot, should leave yourself time to spare on Friday evening. The Shimsha Aresh Dikle Atulu Shiraga, when the sun is still visible atop the palm trees and it is still clearly day, light the Shabbat candle. That's what he advised him to do. Okay.
And he said there's only one there. There's no S candles. Only one, right?
Right.
All right.
You can right, it's one candle, but you could just light one. You could most people light two because of
I know that we've had that.
right. It's a Chov Shemar. But yeah, if I light one, that's fine. Yeah. And so he says, so the Gemara says, Biyom hama'unan mai, what do you do on a cloudy day? That's a sunny day. Sunny day, you look at when the
I
sun
got a
hits
better question. How tall is a plum tree?
palm tree,
Why not use, didn't you just say
palm
something?
tree,
with a-
palm
oh,
tree.
a palm tree, all right.
I don't know if they have plums there. How tall it would the point? He was only making a point. It's low. So he's making a point. When the sun is there, you're gonna have a very short time till it hits the horizon. Light it there. You're not an expert, so light it there. Why do you think we light it early? Because we're not experts. That's why. So when it hits there, light it. So it's gonna be very quick after that. That's what he's saying. He's only giving a sign. Okay. So that what do you do on a cloudy day? So he says. B'mata chaze tangola, if you're in the city, look at the rooster.
Which rooster?
A rooster. Look at a rooster.
You're in the city.
If you're in the city, look at a rooster. B'dabra orve, if you're in the field, look at the ravens. Inami, or else adane, or look at the adane. What are these things? Here we go. It says, while it is still daylight, roosters will perch themselves on roofs. And ravens will gather in the field. Once night begins to fall, they will disperse. So he's saying this is normal. They apparently knew it better than I will. Does anybody have roosters?
Yeah.
No, I sold mine.
Okay, so you told us. What do they do?
As far as we could tell, they didn't hang out on roofs. They just walked around with the hens.
Okay.
What
But
kind of
during-
city
but during
do
the
you see
night,
roosters in the city?
they would
They're not in the city. They have a farm.
during
No,
the
they're not in the city though.
They're in the farm.
right.
Oh, well, it's in the city. Well,
You
who
said,
knows?
look
They're
at
right, they're in the
roosters
city.
Today it sounds funny, but back then.
Okay. They
Yeah.
had them, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
perch
however,
themselves on roofs. And okay.
Oh, wait.
At night, they had plenty of posts, like fence posts to perch on during the day. But I do know at night they go into wherever they decide to nest or roost, and they'll roost there at night.
Okay. There you go.
Cool. Yeah.
There you go. And a dani is a type of wild gourd whose leaves bend to face the sun throughout the course of the day. In the morning, they face east, and as the sun travels westward, the leaves angle themselves in that direction. One can therefore tell when the sun has almost set by observing the angle of which the leaves are tilting. As before, one should not wait until the last moment to kindle the Shabbat lights. Rather, when the gourd indicates the sun is near the horizon, the lights should be lit. Okay, fine. And that's the end of that. Okay. Well, I'll have to, I think it must be the end of it. Yeah, I figured. Okay. Okay, well, I'll have to stop there. Don't forget to ring the bell.
And leave it tip.